President Trump on Tuesday appeared to be taking credit for spurring Saudi Arabia and 4 other Arab nations to break off diplomatic and economic ties with neighboring Qatar, a development that creates complications for U.S. policy. And quote, so good to see the Saudi Arabia visit with the king, and 50 countries already paying off, and quote, Trump boasted in a morning tweet. And quote, perhaps this will be the beginning of the end to the horror of terrorism. And quote, Trump suggested that during his visit to Riyadh, the Saudi capital, last month, when King Salman lavished praise and hospitality on him, many of the Gulf Arab nations in attendance pointed to Qatar as a main financier of terrorism. Qatar has long been one of the United States and APO's closest Persian Gulf allies and is host to the massive army and air force bases that formed the bedrock of U.S. military action in that part of the Middle East. And quote, they said they would take a hard line on funding extremism, and quote, Trump tweeted, and quote, and all reference was pointing to Qatar. And quote, this left State Department officials struggling to make sense of the diplomatic break. And quote, we recognize that Qatar has made great efforts to stop the financing of terrorism, and quote, State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert said Tuesday. And quote, but they still have a lot of work to do. And quote, she acknowledged that the United States was informed of the action by Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Yemen only shortly before it was announced. Qatar has done business in the past with Saudi Arabia and APO's archenemy Iran and tolerated some militant Islamist groups. But it is also base for the Al Jazeera television network, respected in much of the Arab world. The Pentagon, meanwhile, said operations at Al Udeid Air Base, 20 miles southwest of the Qatari capital of Doha, were not affected. It is home to 10,000 U.S. troops and serves as a launching base for many of the U.S. actions against Islamic State. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, traveling in Australia and New Zealand, sought to downplay the rift, saying his government would be willing to work to mend ties. Asked if Trump and APO's tweets are good for U.S. foreign policy, Nauert quoted Tillerson, who said Trump had his end quote own unique way and quote of communicating and that it seemed to serve him end quote well. And quote,